Hi guys, welcome to my channel Waysheblushes and welcome to yet another foundation swatch and review video. In today's video, I will be swatching and reviewing this Lakme Serum foundation. This is Lakme Absolute Skin Dew Serum Foundation. I have this foundation in the shade Warm Beige. Now I have used foundations from Lakme before and I've always used the shade Warm Beige, and that is the only reason I got the same shade in this foundation as well. I bought this foundation online from Nykaa. The price for this foundation is rupees 875, but I bought this at some discount. I paid around 650 rupees for this foundation when I bought this. As I do in all my foundation swatch and review videos, I will first be swatching this foundation on my entire face so that you can see the shade, the texture and the look of this foundation, and then I'll come back and give you my honest opinion on this foundation. And trust me, I have something to say about this foundation. Like, I have some really strong opinion about this foundation, but first let's get started with the swatch. So this is Lakme Absolute Skin Dew Serum Foundation. It comes with a pump and this is the shade Warm Beige. And now I will be dotting it on half of my face so that you can compare the shade with my natural skin tone. Now I'm trying to blend it with a beauty blender, and I'm not gonna lie, blending this was a task for me. Usually my foundations blend very nicely on my skin, but this one is taking too long. I have fast forwarded this video, but it took me really long to blend this foundation. As you can see, I'm struggling to blend it here, and after a lot of effort I was able to blend it. I damped my beauty blender a lot of times, and this is how the foundation looks on my face. And of course, as you can see, the shade is not my match. It is not my shade. I usually go for this shade warm beige in other Lakme foundations, but this shade looks very white on me, like very pale on my skin. And now I have switched off the ring light so that you can see how the shade looks in a normal room light setting. And usually under ring light the shade differences are much more prominent. When I switch off the ring light, you cannot see much difference, and but in this video I can still see that the shade is coming out a bit too strong on my face. Now applying the shade on the rest half of my face and blending it, and you can see I'm looking like a Safed Bhoot in this one. And because the shade is not mine, of course, as you can see, it looks very gray on my skin. It looks very pale on my skin. It does not have much yellow in it to suit my skin tone, and of course it has not blended well. You can clearly see the patches where I was not able to blend it, and I've switched off my ring light so that you can see how the entire foundation looks on my entire face, and I'm not happy with it. So now that you have seen the swatch of this foundation, you have seen the texture and how the foundation looks on my face. I hope the foundation shade was clear to you. I always try to shoot my foundation swatches in the best of lighting which is possible. So as you must have seen in the swatch part as well, I am not really happy with the shade. I mean, I usually go for warm beige in Lakme foundations, but somehow in this foundation the shade was a bit disappointment for me, as it did not go well with my skin tone. Apart from the shade, I am also not happy with the foundation overall. I mean, the foundation is very thick. Now I have a combination skin, which means my T-zone is oily and rest this part of my face is usually somewhat dry. I always prep my skin really well. I apply a good moisturizer followed by a good primer on my skin before I shoot the swatches of all the foundations. I'm just not happy with the consistency of the foundation, because the foundation seems very creamy but on a thicker side. Like, it just refuses to blend on my skin. I am a lover of foundations which blend like butter on my skin. I have good foundations. I know how foundations are supposed to blend on my skin. I know how they work, and this was definitely not one of those. Now I understand there are some foundations which are thick and they need more time to blend, but in this foundation I gave it a lot of time to blend, but somehow even after blending the foundation was settling on my pores. Like, I could see my pores coming up, like it was maximizing my pores instead of minimizing it, if you know what I mean. Like my pores were more visible in this, and not just my pores, it was also settling down on the fine lines of my face, like around my nose, around my forehead. I could see that it was settling down on the lines, which was very bad. Apart from that, it was also not looking good on the rest of my skin also. It was looking very patchy, and somehow it was not looking good. It didn't give the appearance of a well blended foundation to me, honestly. Now that I've made it crystal clear that I'm not happy with the texture or the consistency or the final look of this foundation, still I would like to talk about other things like the coverage. I mean, I do like the coverage of this foundation. Surprisingly, it was able to cover up most of my blemishes and, you know, a little bit dark spots on my face very easily. So for the coverage, I would love to give this foundation 8 on 10. Talking about the longevity of this foundation, now this foundation did sit on my face for 5-6 hours very easily. It did not budge. ये एकदम चिपक गई थी मेरे स्किन से ग्लू के जैसे, and it did not come off. I had to like use a good makeup remover and remove it from my skin. So obviously when it comes to like the staying power, this foundation does have a pretty good staying power, I would say. So for people who have dry skin or combination skin like myself, you should definitely stay away from this foundation. However, if you have oily skin, then I'm not sure how this foundation would work on your skin, because you guys have a really oily skin. So maybe this foundation would blend nicely on your skin. I cannot comment on that since I do not have an oily skin, but still I feel if a foundation is not able to blend properly on my skin, so somewhat the consistency, like the texture of the foundation is somewhat in question. So I would not recommend this foundation to anyone at the moment. So sorry, I hardly do this. Like I hardly have any foundations which I dislike so much, but I have to be honest and I have to give you my honest opinion, since this foundation is also not very cheap. Like it retails for 875. Yes, I got it on discount, but still considering the MRP of the product, they should have delivered some quality product, I believe. So that was my honest take on this foundation. Let me know if you have tried this foundation and how did it work for you. I'm really curious to know, like really. Apart from that, if you found this video useful and you enjoyed watching it, then please give this video a big like, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel Waysheblushes. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and now I will see you in another foundation swatch and review video very soon. Till then, take care of yourself.